everyone, it's Jack from Cultaholic.com, back again with another big news update. First of all, we're going to talk about why WWE didn't count that pre-show Survivor Series Tag Team Elimination match in the overall standing of the night between Raw and SmackDown. SmackDown had a win, but Raw still won. We're also going to talk about a couple of other stories. AJ Styles has reportedly been ironing out a new contract deal with a bit of a difference to his previous deal, with some little changes going on there that we're going to get into. And finally, Becky Lynch remains molten hot on Twitter and has taken shots at one of the biggest stars in the entire world of wrestling. Fair play, Becky. Good on you. Let's get in to all of the news. So first of all, let's go back to last night at Survivor Series, because on the pre-show, the Usos were the surviving members of Team SmackDown in that pre-show tag team 10-man traditional elimination match. It was that was a bit of a mouthful. It was kind of a strange match. There were a few botches early on, but it got quite compelling towards the end when it got down to the New Day, the Revival, and the Usos. The Revival eliminated the New Day, but then the Usos held on to pick up the victory for Team SmackDown, and it looked as though it was 1-0. Then we got to the first match of the main show, the women's 5-on-5 singles tag match, if that makes any sense. They won that, and then it was suddenly 1-0 to Raw, when you'd think it would have been 1-1. But no. Now, a lot of people noticed this, including Xavier Woods, who took to Twitter to say, hey, WWE, respect both brands' tag divisions and count the result of our match in the overall standing. It's not a clean sweep for Raw. We won on the pre-show. A lot of people agreed on Twitter as well. And then Dave Meltzer, All the Wrestling Observer newsletter, has recently come out and said the reason the WWE ignored the pre-show result was because of a miscommunication. That's right, somehow, and I don't know, and I've worked backstage at wrestling shows before, and I get that there can be miscommunications all over the place because there's so many things going on at once, but one thing that I think is pretty hard to miscommunicate is the result of a match. I don't quite understand how this has happened, but apparently Raw were supposed to win that tag match, but the agent for the match was unaware of that, or someone forgot, or something got misconstrued somewhere down the line, and SmackDown picked up the victory. So after all, it was meant to be a clean sweep for Raw, including that pre-show match. Presumably the Revival would have won, I guess. I'm not quite certain how that would have worked out, but WWE just decided to call an audible, ignore the pre-show result, and just count the main show matches towards the final total. But it didn't go unnoticed, as you may have seen if you logged onto social media at any point during last night's show. Any point not including Enzo Amore. Next up, Fightful.com have been told by some sources that AJ Styles is in the process of negotiating a new contract with WWE. One, crucially, with a reduced schedule. The model that has been compared to AJ Styles' vision for his new contract is that of Randy Orton, so he'll work all the TV dates, but he'll have a very reduced house show schedule. Styles is apparently one of several WWE superstars whose contract is coming to an end soon, but you have to imagine they'd re-sign him because he's one of their biggest stars now. He's been with the company for 3 years, having debuted at the 2016 Royal Rumble, or approaching 3 years, I guess. And apparently the reason for this is that he wants to spend more time with his family, and certainly having a reduced house show schedule would keep him off the road. More, at least. A little bit more. A couple of other reasons I can think of. Well, number one, he is in his 40s. He's not a spring chicken anymore, and it would be good probably for Styles to have some rest. And also, as was revealed on the 365 AJ Styles documentary recently, which I think went out either today or last night probably, I'm getting all my times mixed up, then Styles apparently worked through a hamstring injury, I think a torn hamstring, all summer long when he was WWE champion. So it all kind of makes a little bit of sense why he'd want to take some time off. In fact, apparently, a big reason he dropped the belt was to give him a little bit more of a rest. And being WWE champion, I don't think he could have feasibly gone for this contract because he'd have had to be on the road all of the time. And finally, Becky Lynch has just continued to spit fire on the old Twitter, this time getting into a war of words with Chrissy J, Y2J, Chris Jericho. Jericho said congrats at WWE for making women's wrestling the hottest thing in WWE. Who's headlining WrestleMania? Hashtag WrestleMania. In response to that, Becky took issue with the fact that WWE made women's wrestling the hottest thing in WWE and put, no, that was me, which is arguably a very fair point. Jericho replied, yes, for sure, with an assist to Nia Jax WWE for breaking your face, of course. And then Becky said, that sucker punched True Blood for sure. But a little known fact though, I actually got the concussion from trying to listen to your last album. What's going on, Becky, you big legend rebel? That is a stinging rebuke for Chris Jericho there. There were a few fears last night actually that Becky Lynch's momentum has all been transferred onto Charlotte, what with Charlotte's heel turn and beating down of Ronda Rousey after the match. And I can sort of see why that might be a concern. I hope personally that that's not the case, and I hope that Becky can continue her own ascendance while Charlotte can have one of her own as well. But I don't quite know yet. I guess we'll learn a lot on Tuesday night for SmackDown Live. Thank you very much for watching this news video. I've been Jack from Cultaholic.com. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to at Jack the Jobber. You can follow all of us at Cultaholic and check out our Patreon too, patreon.com/Cultaholic. And never forget, of course, if you haven't already, to hit subscribe and to join us.